Imagine a floating airport, bustling with activity, resplendent with the roar of jet engines and the smell of salt air. It's not a scene from a science fiction novel, but rather the reality of life aboard an aircraft carrier. Yet, did you know that during the Second World War, the United States Navy made use of smaller aircraft carriers, known as escort carriers, that were less than half the size of their larger counterparts? Now let's journey back to the early 20th century, to the birth of the aircraft carrier. Born out of necessity during the First World War, the aircraft carrier was a revolutionary concept, enabling military aircraft to operate at sea, far from the nearest land-based airfield. In the interwar period, the United States Navy experimented with different designs and sizes for these floating airfields. It was during the Second World War, however, that the smaller escort carrier came into its own. Smaller, cheaper, and quicker to build than their larger fleet carrier counterparts, these baby flat tops, as they were affectionately called, played a crucial role in the Pacific and Atlantic theaters, providing air cover for convoys, supporting amphibious assaults, and even serving as floating training grounds for naval aviators. But as the war ended and the Cold War began, the role of the aircraft carrier began to change. The advent of jet aircraft and nuclear power meant that carriers needed to be larger to accommodate the new technology. The small escort carriers, with their shorter flight decks and slower speeds, simply couldn't keep up. By the Vietnam War, the smaller carriers had all but disappeared from the Navy's fleet, replaced by larger, nuclear-powered supercarriers. These behemoths could carry more aircraft, stay at sea for longer periods, and were better suited to the Navy's new strategy of power projection. So, why did the US Navy stop using smaller aircraft carriers? The simple answer is evolution. As the needs of the Navy and the technology available to it changed, so did the size and design of its carriers. The smaller escort carriers, so vital during the Second World War, were simply no longer up to the task. In conclusion, the evolution of the aircraft carrier in the US Navy, from the smaller escort carriers of the Second World War to the massive supercarriers of today, is a fascinating study in technological and strategic advancement. It's a story of change, adaptation, and above all, the relentless pursuit of maritime superiority. Remember, the only constant in the world of military technology is change. As we look to the future, who knows what the next chapter in the story of the aircraft carrier will be? Only time will tell. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring the fascinating world of military history.